G'day internet. Today I'm gonna show you how I harvest poppies, Californian and Flanders. I grew them over winter. They bloomed in spring. They only last about 6 weeks, which kind of sucked. I spent about 8 or 9 months growing them. And how I learned to harvest them, or the information I got, is from someone you should check out on YouTube called Little Poppy Mama. She's beautiful. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'll just show you a few pictures of the garden and we'll get started. So this is the leftovers of what I actually grew. There's still some still blooming. They are perennials, so you can let them die back and they'll lay dormant for a while and then grow back. This is my leftovers coming up. Oh, I can't reverse this, but you can see I've ripped out heaps, and I've just planted heaps of sunflowers. Looks like an absolute disheveled mess at the moment, but I made lots of compost. I put heaps of poppy leftovers there, heaps here, and heaps inside here, which is the pile we're going to be harvesting first, or maybe at all, because that'll take so long to do. They are kind of beautiful. Here's some of the Flanders poppies that are still in bloom. Pretty nice. Neighbors love them. Live in a suburban area, and it's my second year of gardening, so take my advice with a grain of salt, 2 tablespoons, some shit like that. So with poppies, there's 2 phases. This is the flower pod. Then what happens is they bloom, so there's red flowers. Then after they bloom, you see that they turn into this. This is a Flanders poppy. Apparently there's some holes that will start happening once they're ready to harvest. You should just wait until they're brown or whatever and leave them on the stem until they're brown. So obviously here is the Flanders poppy. I actually don't know if that's ready to harvest. Again, this is my first time really doing it. This is all secondhand knowledge. Just going to give it a go anyway. And this is the Californian poppy pod. Now that one's a little bit more brown, so I think that's probably more likely to be fertile. So you can just grab them. You see here I've got thousands, and what I'm going to do is just cut them off and just collect a bunch. A lot of them are pretty green, but I did leave them on the stems for a while. I'm in zone 9. It looked like I should have left them on for a week before pulling them out or cutting them off. As you can see in here, maybe this bad boy, that looks pretty brown. Who cares? That's gonna have to do. And poppies, actually, there's thousands of seeds per pod. So once you break them open, you'll see these are all still green. But there's thousands and thousands, quite a few black ones in there. And poppies, when you buy them, you pay like $2 and you'll get probably 500 seeds. And when you grow them, you just throw them all on your soil. They need sunlight to germinate, so just put them straight on. So they probably won't work, those ones, because I'll tell you in a second. We'll just have a quick look at the Flanders poppy seeds, even smaller. And there's like 100, 200 per pod. It's amazing. And they also have to be black. So, there's a train coming. Welcome to suburbia. So the actual trick is just to cut them off, leave them all in the bowl, and what poppies do in nature is actually just sort of rot on the tree, eventually fall off, they'll turn completely brown, and once they're dry enough, they'll just split open themselves, and by then the seeds will be black. So we're going to try to emulate that. What we're going to do is just put a whole bunch in the bowl, collect lots. I mean, that's going to take me, it feels like, an hour to get through. So I'm probably going to have like 50,000 seeds. That'd be pretty cool. And I'm just going to mix them together because I can be bothered separating them. And then what I'm going to do is just move them to a paper bag and let them sit in a paper bag until they just essentially dry, pop open, and there'll be a bag full of seeds. It started raining a bit. I kind of gave up. I harvested enough, probably several thousand seeds. That'll be plenty for next year. A lot of my pods were green too, so I tried to cut them from the, sort of leave a bit of stem on them. I'm just going to theorize that whatever nitrates, minerals, that the stem will just keep pumping into the seeds while they brown and ripen. So I got my bowl here. Yeah, mostly Californian poppies. And I'm just going to put them in a brown bag. I think you can just leave them in a box, but put them in a brown bag and leave them till probably, I think I planted them late summer, and they sort of grew through winter and then bloomed in the first 6 weeks of spring, which is pretty good. Don't judge me. I don't eat McDonald's often, but this was the only bag I could find, and I'm just going to chuck them in there and let them, you have to watch, let them sit for a few months in a dry, cool space. Seriously though, do not eat McDonald's unless you're really drunk, and still not even then, unless you're really drunk.